Hi, I'm Kevin Antresian at Backroom Studios, and today we're going to review the Friedman JJ. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the amp in detail, talk about the specs, then we're going to have some audio clips, and at the end I'll let you know if I would recommend it. So let's go over this amp. A lot of you probably know it, some of you probably don't. It's kind of a more boutique type situation here. It's a Marshall-based amp. It's Friedman, made by Dave Friedman. It's kind of a collaboration between him and Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. If you don't know who that is, you're a f***ing asshole, and check him out. Little band called Alice in Chains. Maybe use the Google. It's 100 watts. It's got two channels typically. Mine has 2.5 channels. I had to mod it, but I'll go into that more later. They're hand-wired, which is nice. Made in the USA. That's always nice. This one has 4 EL34s in it. That's my tube of choice for the studio and for live. And it has 4 12AX7s, which is pretty typical. Let's go over the front panel. So like this amp has some really unique features. This says middle, but actually I had it modded so that it's a pitch shift for my voice. So if I turn it up, my voice gets higher.
And if I turn it back down,
it'll get
all the way down, all the way to 12 semitones lower. It's really useful in a live setting.
But let's check out the front panel here. It's pretty typical of what you see most amps. You get your volumes, your presence, your basic tone knobs. Then you have your gain, which controls the gain for both rhythm channels. You have your clean section over here. So mine, like I said before, was modded. Typically they have the clean channel and then a rhythm channel. You get to choose between the BE channel, which is based off the Brown Eye, which is an awesome amp. It's like the Friedman flagship. And then you have the JBE channel, or like the JJ channel, and that is the Jerry Cantrell, like super saturated, crazy channel. It's kind of like the BE channel if you put a little bit of cocaine on it. Yeah! So like I said before, mine is a little bit different than the stock one. I had Dave mod it so that instead of it being just a 2-channel amp, like the rhythm, the selectable rhythm and the clean, mine is actually like a 2.5 channel amp. I have the foot switch up for it over here. It's not like a regular just go between foot switch. You can actually change between which rhythm setting you want. Or which rhythm channel you want. You want the JJ or do you want the BE? Wow. It's not a full 3-channel because with the rhythm channel you don't get independent EQs for both of these, but it really doesn't matter unless you're going for something drastically different. It's totally fine. Other things that he did differently with mine upon request was this fancy blue. If you can tell, I kind of like the blue. He also reworked the taper on this knob because when you go into the JBE setting, that channel, like I said, it's a little bit more saturated. It's also compressed a little bit. And because of that gain reduction, this is tapered a little bit differently. If you're trying to match levels with this master of the BE, the JJ has to be like, you know, like a quarter turn higher to get the same level. I can't honestly turn it past like 3 without blowing everything up. People have died, so we keep it down around 2. So the clean channel, like I said, is pretty clean. It's hard to get it to break up. You can with the right pickups or hotter pickups. I personally like that. That's not for everybody. But now that we did the front panel, let's check out the back. Okay, so now we're gonna check out the back panel. There's almost nothing back here, which is fine. You don't need a lot back here. I have a couple of these amps here that have like 400 things in the back and it's just confusing and completely unnecessary. So this is nice, keep it simple. So we got the foot switch. We got the selection between the JBE or the BE rhythm channel. You could do that with the foot switch. You have your awesome effects loop. You have your impedance selection, 16.84. This is my preferred setup over certain companies that have independent 1/4-inch spots for each different setting. I think that's obnoxious and takes up way too much space. You got 2 speaker outs, that's all you need. And you got a line out and then your power. Let's open it up. Well, first thing first, when you open up an amp, you want to be super careful. You want to take a solid metal or steel object and you want to drain the cap by touching it like this. So we talked enough about the amp. We went over the specs. It's time to show you what it sounds like. That's what you're here for anyway. So we're gonna put a Tascam mic in another room maybe and play this thing at like bedroom level and really get a fantastic sound for you. So you can listen to it on your cell phone and really get a good picture for this $3,700 amp. let's go over some of the pros and cons of the amp, and then I'll let you know if I would recommend that you buy it or not, depending on your situation. Some of the pros is it sounds fucking incredible. There's a lot of really nice boutique amps here, and this is it's definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Obviously, it depends on what I'm doing, what kind of band I'm working with. But to play myself, this is a go-to of mine for sure. The build quality you saw was amazing in the inside, really clean work, hand-wired. And the controls, that's a pro, because for me, having something with like a million knobs, which some of these do, it just gets confusing, and it almost makes sometimes the user feel like they have to tweak them. Honestly, with this thing, everything at noon sounds almost perfect. If anything, if you're playing at a quieter volume, the bass just rock it up a little bit more. That's how you know an amp's good, if it sounds good at noon. Let's go into cons. Price. It's no secret, Friedman amps are expensive. This thing is about $3,700, and that's before if you want to get like a custom color like I got. So that might scare some people away. Just full disclosure, I did pay for this amp with my own money. It wasn't like an endorsement deal. I am on their artist team, so I do get a discount, but it's still a lot of money. It's not like cheap. It doesn't have MIDI. I don't know if that's a con for some people. It's kind of basic, more like the Marshall vibe. That doesn't matter to me. I could give a fuck about MIDI or not. It doesn't have a resonance knob. I kind of wish it did for certain applications, but the bass is voiced very well, so it's not something you need, but like if you're doing some kind of certain modern music, you might want that. And maybe another con could be that they're kind of a smaller company, so if you're touring with them internationally, getting them around the world is hit or miss. So in general, would I recommend it? Yes, definitely. Would I recommend it for a producer or someone looking to, do studio work with this thing? Absolutely. This thing is used on tons of records that we do here. It gets great results. If money's no object and it doesn't matter to you, definitely go for it. You will not be disappointed at all. If you're a bedroom player, it kind of might be overkill. 100 watts and $3,700 is a lot. Probably other amps you can get in a lower price bracket that will do you good. Even Friedman makes a lot now too. So in the end, we're gonna rate this 9 out of 10 Buffy the Vampire Slayer CDs. So thanks for tuning in and watching our review of the Friedman JJ. If you liked what you saw, please click the subscribe button located up here. Here, there. Oh. Thanks.